Okay, Boomer, let's talk about where you should be moving for retirement in 2021. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs. It is time to talk about some baby boomer stuff. The first thing we should talk about is retirement. That's probably the most important subject for this generation right now. Most are in retirement age or about to be. A couple months back, we talked about another generation, the millennials, and where they should be moving to. Millennials are in their prime earning years and should be looking towards the future and setting themselves up for a successful retirement. And for those of you who left comments last time I said successful retirement, let me explain it to you. That just means you have some savings and retirement income other than Social Security. A nice fat 401k is a good thing. Baby boomers are getting up there in age. They're in their mid-50s to late 70s here in 2020. One of the most important things for this age bracket is cutting costs right now. Can't live like you used to when you're not working anymore, really. Probably the easiest way to do this is move someplace where the cost of living and housing is a little bit lower than where you're living. If you spent your life living and working in California, New York, Chicago, Seattle, chances are you need to get out of those places. The U.S. Census does an annual report called the American Community Survey where they gather stats and rank cities, towns, and states in the U.S. We poured over the stats and figures and came out with the best states for boomers right now. I say we, but really it was Suki. I mean, why not? That's what she went to school for. She does this. All right, let's see what states the boomers should be looking at for retirement. Number 10, Utah. Utah's a great state in so many ways, it's actually hard to make a negative list for the Beehive State. What makes them land at the number 10 spot? The first thing is the stat called well-being. Basically, that's how do you feel about the community, what are your opportunities in the community, how clean is your community, and how is your relationship with the people in the community. As expected, Utah's one of the best. They're actually ranked number 5 in the nation. The poverty rate among boomers is 6.5%. For comparison, the poverty rate in some of the worst states for baby boomers, like New Mexico and Mississippi, it's 13 and 14%. They also have some of the best nature and national parks that we have to offer in this country. Utah is the only state in the U.S. where every county includes part of a national forest. That's kind of cool. About 56% of baby boomers can afford to own a home in Utah. Number 9, Vermont. This one surprised me a little bit. Vermont is normally considered a state with a high cost of living. Thing is, it is in the cities, but there's a steep drop once you get outside the cities and into the more rural areas. Now, this is a common theme in almost every single state, but a little bit more in Vermont. They were ranked 6th in well-being, and they have one of the lowest crime rates in the country. When you start getting up there in age, you start looking at crime stats a little bit more. Nobody ever wants to be the victim of a crime, but it's a little more devastating when you're an older person. 8.7% of the boomers live in poverty in the Green Mountain State, which, compared to some of the other states, like I said before, is not much. Vermont is a great state for baby boomers, maybe not the diabetic type, because Vermont produced 1.9 million gallons of maple syrup in 2019. That's more than double what any other state produced. Number 8, Alaska. The last frontier has been a destination for people winding it down for many years. You get paid to live here. Actually, yeah, it's kind of cool. They give you a little, yearly stipend. Is it called a stipend? Anyway, you get money for living there. Housing is reasonable, and it's very sparsely populated. Some people, as they get older, really grow a disdain for other human beings. I have no studies or stats on this one. It's just my experience. I get it. I'm a 50-year-old YouTuber. I see extremely talented filmmakers like Casey Neistat, Dan Mason, stuff like that. I get a little jealous. Doesn't make me move to Alaska. It makes me try harder at what I'm doing. But if the Midwest or Northeast doesn't float your boat, baby boomers should check out Alaska. Their high state of well-being score means most Alaskans dig living here, and that goes for baby boomers too. They rank 3rd in well-being. Keep in mind, groceries can get a little pricey here because everything's got to be shipped, but most everything else is pretty cheap. The natural environment is a big deal for anyone moving to Alaska. If that's not what you're into, you probably shouldn't give Alaska much consideration. The poverty rate for baby boomers here is 7.4%, which isn't terrible. But if you do want to retire with an ocean view, Alaska has more coastline than any other state. Number 7, Minnesota. Minnesotans have nature, a low cost of living, and a lower than average chance of living in poverty. Baby boomers that can handle a cold winter can find great small towns to enjoy their golden years in Minnesota. Fish, garden, complain about the weather, all the things retirement is supposed to be about. Minnesota has far too many great towns to talk about in a 10-minute video. Minnesota is a great place for seniors and families with very low crime outside the Twin Cities area. In well-being, they're ranked 12th, and their poverty rate among boomers is 7.3%. Minnesota's life expectancy is one of the highest, 80.7 years, making them the third best in the nation. The national average, for comparison, is 74.5 years. Another great thing about Minnesota for retirees and boomers, the North Star State has more golf courses per capita than any other state. Yeah, more than California, more than Florida, more than all of them. Number 6, Wyoming. The cowboy state is in that part of the country that's seen a lot of Californians riding on in. Along with Idaho and Montana, Wyoming is becoming increasingly popular. A lot of those people moving in there are baby boomers. When you look at cost of living, Wyoming is always in the lowest top 10. Last year, they were number 9. The cowboy state has one of the least stressed populations, and they are actually number 1 for least stressed seniors and retirees. That's good. They are ranked as second when it comes to well-being, and their baby boomers only have a 7.2% poverty rate. You might not expect this from a place that has a nickname like the cowboy state, but Wyoming was the first state to have a female governor. That has nothing to do with baby boomers or anything like that. I just thought it was very interesting. Number 5, South Dakota. South Dakota is starting to be the next Idaho, in my opinion. I do a lot of research on a lot of different states, and I'm starting to see a growing interest in South Dakota, not just from residents, but from businesses too. Businesses are starting to relocate here, replacing old industries that died out in the last couple decades. Up until its closure in 2002, the Homestake Mine in Lead, South Dakota, was the largest and deepest gold mine in all of North America. The Mount Rushmore state only has about 7% of its boomers living below the poverty line, and that's good. They rank 9th in well-being, and people really seem to love this place. They have a lot of open space, and baby boomers seem to like a lot of open space. They want to get land to live on, and they want it to be bigger than, the standard size you're getting in a suburb or something like that. They want an acre or so, a lot of them. And if they can afford it, they're moving to South Dakota to get it. Number 4, North Dakota. Besides sharing one of its names and a border, the Peace and Garden state has very similar stats to South Dakota. They get a tad bit colder and have a few less trees, but they're fairly similar. North Dakota ranks 10th in well-being and 2nd in people missing their front teeth. I don't think those have anything to do with each other, but who knows? They do play a lot of hockey in North Dakota, and that's a good way to lose your front teeth. I played hockey for years, and the only reason I still have my front teeth is because I was a goalie. I also never played rugby, which, from my understanding, is another great way to lose your front teeth. Speaking of rugby, North Dakota is the home of the geographical center of North America. Yeah, like if North America was a record, that's where that little hole goes in. And for those of you that don't know what a record is, Google it. For those of you that are watching this for a place to live, you already know what a record is. You remember them fondly. You actually probably remember going to the record store. Only 6.7% of the boomers in North Dakota live below the poverty line. Number 3, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is very similar to Vermont in more ways than I have time to list in a 10-minute video. They do beat Vermont in. Baby boomers who live here have the lowest poverty rate in the nation at 5.3%. That's solid. The Granite State doesn't produce nearly as much syrup as Vermont, but they are the only state that has a pumpkin as the state fruit. A pumpkin? Fruit? Pumpkin's not a fruit. Hold on. Hey, Google, is a pumpkin a fruit?
Pumpkins are fruit.
Mother... The people of New Hampshire love living here, and they're ranked 11th in well-being. One of the main reasons for this is the great outdoors. This is one of the nicest states for people that enjoy the outdoors. They even have surf. Yeah, people actually surf in New Hampshire. They don't have that much coastline, but people get there and surf. Number 2, Nebraska. Nebraska is number 2 for a couple reasons. Low cost of living and very low housing prices, both owning and renting. Nebraska is considered one of the most boring states in the nation, but like I've said in previous videos, some people are looking for a little boring. Only 6.7% of the boomers live in poverty in the Cornhusker state, and it is ranked 18th for overall well-being. That's a little high for this list, but the cost of living and housing being so low, things like that can be overlooked. Nebraska has extremely low crime and a ton of baby boomers, so you be amongst your own. Boomers make up almost a third of the state's population. Nebraska is a great state to move to. It's just boring by most people's standards. For proof of that, the state soda is Kool-Aid. No kidding. Kool-Aid. It's not even a soda. It's just a boring, bland, sugary drink that they consider a soda. Doesn't make sense. What's Nevada's state soda? Vodka tonic? And number 1, Iowa. Remember everything I said about Nebraska? Same thing here as far as the boring part, cost of living and housing. They're very, very similar. Both states are in the middle of the country and are considered flyover states. Some actually consider Nebraska and Iowa drive-through without stopping states. The boredom thing is what raises the well-being in each state. Iowa is ranked the 23rd. Yeah, they don't have a lot of community here, and they don't feel like they're in touch. They're kind of middle of the road when it comes to state well-being. The poverty rate for boomers is only 6% in the Hawkeye State. If you like bacon, you'll be glad to hear that pigs outnumber humans in Iowa 7-1. But for 2021, Iowa is probably the best state for boomers to retire. Or just to move. They have jobs too. Even if you're a boomer or semi-retired or whatever, you can get a good job in Iowa. They have jobs right now. All right, that's our list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. These retired and boomer ones, they always seem to do really good. A lot of people are interested in this subject. If you like this type of subject, let me know in the comment section below. I've got a couple other ones on tap. We can put them up whenever, as long as we get enough likes, views, and comments. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Don't forget all the links below. Give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you already haven't. Be nice to each other.